The artificial intelligence race is raging. China and the US are vying for supremacy. They have poached and applauded tech giants. They've issued sanctions, and now they have a new tool at their disposal: United Nations resolutions. The United Nations General Assembly has adopted a new resolution. It wants to boost AI capabilities of developing nations and encourage international cooperation for the development of AI. Ironically, this resolution of so-called AI unity has been led by Beijing and co-sponsored by Washington. What does this mean for the AI war? Is the world ready for what is to come, and how are nations faring in terms of AI preparedness? Here's a report.
Fair, open, inclusive, and non-discriminatory. What sounds like corporate jargon straight out of HR 101 is actually part of a UN resolution on, believe it or not, artificial intelligence.
Like GPT-3.
The United Nations General Assembly has adopted a new resolution. It looks to boost AI capabilities of developing nations and encourage quote-unquote international cooperation on capacity building of AI.
Quality has to do with your subscription.
In simpler terms, the resolution wants nations to work together when it comes to AI. It wants to ensure that poor nations benefit from AI. It sounds rather sweet, but guess who led this resolution of tech unity? None other than China. Now, Gen Z would probably call this sus. For the millennials out there, that means suspicious. First, because China is involved. It's sending a message of unity. Talk about irony. Secondly, this is a non-binding resolution, meaning it's largely symbolic, almost as good as making vacation plans on group chat with only promises of showing up. But there's a third and probably the biggest reason: the fact that China has backed this proposal, and among other nations, the US co-sponsored it. The two nations are at war. Not literally, of course. We're talking about a tech war. The US and China are jockeying for AI supremacy on the global stage. They are racing to write the rules for AI governance, and they've stopped at nothing. From directly or indirectly poaching tech giants to employing sanctions. Recently, the US issued draft rules to ban certain investments in AI sectors in China. In March, the US sponsored a resolution to monitor AI for potential risks. This was the first resolution of its kind, and it was co-sponsored by 123 countries, including China, which reluctantly joined the party towards the end. Now, China has passed its own resolution along the same lines. This is being seen as a clear move to vie for power, and China is using this opportunity to extend the US a hand while giving it a nudge.
If you look at the US resolution, it's more general, and the Chinese resolution is more focused on the capacity building. So that's why we believe that these are two complementary resolutions. And with respect to the sanctions imposed by the US government, as you know our position, we are firmly opposed to these sanctions. We don't believe that what the US government's position or decision will be helpful to the healthy development of the AI technology.
So the US and China are passive-aggressively fighting this out. AI is obviously on their minds. But what about the others? How are other nations coping with artificial intelligence? Are they ready for what's to come? According to the International Monetary Fund, not particularly. They released an Artificial Intelligence Preparedness Index last week. It tracks 174 economies globally for AI readiness. This happens on 4 parameters: digital infrastructure, human capital and labor market policies, innovation and economic integration, and regulation. Singapore, Denmark, and the US got the highest ratings. What about India? It stands at 72. According to the report, AI can increase productivity and boost economic growth, but it can also wipe out millions of jobs, about 40% jobs globally, and it can widen inequality because many countries lack the infrastructure needed to harness the benefits of AI. Keeping this in mind, the UN resolution comes at an opportune time. If followed, it may curb the inequality. But realistically speaking, it could be a plot for Beijing to one-up Washington while paying well-choreographed lip service to the rest of the world.
On the show today, the T20 World Cup Bangladesh has moved across to the West Indies. What can we expect from this?
Hello, I'm Alison Green, coming to you from Durban, South Africa. Today we have a special show.
Start with a report on India's shifting nuclear posture. The first time since India officially became a nuclear power.
Hello and welcome to Firstpost America. I'm Eric Ham, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Washington, D.C.